Hello, everyone. It's your girl coming to you again with another video. And it is midday here in sunny Northern California. I was just in deep thought and prayer, thanking our Heavenly Creator for my small place that I have. But I'm sitting in my little patio area. Actually, I'm sitting inside my apartment, but there's this like little nook that leads out to the patio. And so I made it my sitting area. I have a lovely, comfortable, comfy chair, nice little standing lamp. I have another little table here and a small library of books and things. And right now, during the midday, the clouds have cleared away a little bit, and so the sun is shining through, and it's just basking my little sitting area with light. And I can look out into my patio, which is a good size because it's a corner unit that I'm in. So it's a good size. And yeah, so it looks very lovely. The foliage is out and still hanging on, even though it's autumn and we're going to be going into winter soon. And the creator of our universe brought to my mind another aspect of New Jerusalem that we could possibly expect to take place during our restful period. And so what he brought up was about vendettas and some of the hatred and anger that we have between one another. And honestly, I was asking for the Creator to kind of cool that down so that we make it rest, which is what we are so in need, because we've been under Satan and his children, and they have done a doozy on us. Honestly, I don't judge us on all the things that we have done. I'm reserving that because we've done those things under duress and the greatest pressure that has ever been put on a human body. The very fact that we are alive as a nation can only be attributed to the Most High God, because any other nation has basically went by the wayside. They have been genocide out of existence. And we have largely been made crazy because of the many events that have gone on without any period of rest. And so it is not far-fetched that we would have done very much have done crimes against one another. It is due to the fact that we have been completely broken. And yet far too many of us are ready to condemn one another in a way that we would never condemn our arch enemies. As a matter of fact, we have an unhealthy forgiveness of them. And the one thing that really kind of grated me a lot, or it still does, but in the past, is when there would be a horrific murderer from a stone cold white, you know what, racist, and the parents would, or the family members would, get up on the podium in front of the world, and before the body was even cold of their loved ones, or at least before it was even buried, they were ready to forgive them. And you know what? I think they meant that. I think they really meant it. They were ready to forgive them. But have you noticed that none of us were ready to do the same when it was a black perpetrator? I want you to think back. I want you to think back. With all the killing that we have done with each other, I want you to think back to see if you can recall any of the family members of the dead person from that family that they got on front of the podium and told the world how much they forgive the perpetrator. My guess is you'll be hard pressed to find that. You would have to go through a lot of forgiveness of white people video footage before you find anything reciprocal for one another. So realistically, what I was in prayerful mode about regarding this vindictiveness and this self-hatred, self-hate and kind, is that I was speaking to our Creator and asking if, not if, but knowing, stating that Most High, you have the power to kind of settle our hearts and minds in a way that we are not able to do it on our own, and that is through all of us. Even your anointed will obviously have scores to settle, and that can boil down real quickly into chaos throughout New Jerusalem. So I don't know what it is, but I'm asking so that we may have rest and get settled into this new paradigm that you are going to put us in, physically, visually, consciously, spiritually, that you provide a blanket of protection for us, and that we have the forgiving heart for one another that we were so readily able to give to white folks who didn't even ask for it. And I said to the Creator of the universe, I said, even some of your saints are just waiting to wag their finger at other black folks and tell them you did this and you did that, and they're not going to take any other answer, whether or not you did it or not. Some of us won't even take that as a truthful answer. They just want us and want each other to suffer, and that could really disrupt the cohesion that is going to be needed for our recovery and then uplift, so that we can be a sign and a symbol to other nations, and also a goalpost or a light post to freedom that they will so desperately need. And somehow, after I made that prayer, I sit here now in my heart of hearts with an assurance that there is going to be something that is going to be the blanket of peace that will settle in New Jerusalem. I mean, we're going to have all the technology, and technology beyond our wildest imaginations will be handed over to the new nation, and it will be quickly claimed and reclaimed in many spaces and put into use overnight for the whole nation, so that all we are concerned with for at least the first 30, 60, 90 year, maybe 2 or 3 years, where we are just kind of getting our bearings, where we are relaxing, where we are resting. And one of the things that I spoke about this in my other videos, I hope that you will take a listen to them, because they're also very insightful, is one of the things I'm learning about what's happening to me now about being, you know, relieved of my job, is that, or removed from my job, is that the rest that I have been able to receive, which was surprising to, well, it wasn't surprising, because somehow the spirit of the Creator of the universe settled on me, so that when I walked out of that job, I felt the lifting of the racism and the hostility and just the benign neglect, but really the hatred and the jealousy and envy, all that was left behind. And I went out in a good way. The Creator of the universe made sure that I had what I needed, and so it was like I feel like I'm in a new world. So you know, I am applying to other jobs, but and you know, I don't know if that is going to happen. I think that with the recent reports of UFOs now being visible throughout the United States, and particularly, I think something is on its way, man. Not on its way. I think something is here and in operation, and I, in my heart of hearts, it is to do with us as a nation, and it is to do with our uplift, but also to with the shift in the change of our reality. And that maybe the air that we're breathing now, the atmosphere that we're walking in now, especially with the dynamic changes that were made to the sun from 3I Atlas. And again, for the two supernovas, if you haven't listened to that video, I do have a video regarding the two supernovas that happened as 3I Atlas was coming in and what that could mean. That the reality that we are now in is totally different than the one we were in probably as early as last year. But some are rightly pinpointing something shifted in 2019. And I know that for myself, toward the end of 2019, I believe that I had been given my commission of my part in New Jerusalem. And so, and that was literally the last month in December of 2019 that was brought to me. In the beginning of 2020, the outlay of that commission was revealed to me wholly. And then after that, COVID hit. So now, like most of you, I too am just waiting for the next thing and doing my part, whatever that is, to move that forward. But one of the things that, or the last thing that the creator of heaven and earth put in my mind, that rest means rest. That's the one thing that she left in my mind. Rest means rest. And so with that, it seems that something is going to take over where the finger wagging on one another and the whole thing, you hurt me, you did this, and how could you, that is going to somehow be set aside for a moment so we can get our bearings, so we can get all of the administrative work of making sure people have somewhere to stay, of making sure that there's enough food to eat, to making sure that the utilities and lights and water are running, to making sure that that all the families are gathered together, because you have to expect that this is going to be cataclysmic in the United States, and so a lot of us are going to be separated. But from what I have been shown, it is still going to be an orderly march from one place to New Jerusalem. So a lot of people are going to leave the homes that they have been in, some for decades. And so there will be no time to be trying to settle old scores. We'll have to put that aside for a while so that we can all get settled in and get the cities of New Jerusalem up and running. So there's electricity, there's enough for gas, there's enough for water, there's enough of food, that the gardens are, or the farms, that there's enough things there helping, that we get AI on the line, that we get all of the technology up and running and ready to go. So that we can then focus on that part where we start our recovery or our walk back. Well, actually, it would be the first time for us, so it will be our walk to what the Most High intended for us on this planet called Earth. And also, too, I believe that all those UFOs, maybe not all of them, but a great majority of them, and I think 3I Atlas is really a cornerstone, and probably a Muamua, maybe a cornerstone too, will be part of making sure that they keep the peace. They're going to keep the peace. The angels are going to be here keeping the peace, so that and reminding, especially some of you guys who are just belligerent or I shouldn't say that, but some of you will be, but some who have a real strong I'm right personality, everybody else wrong, or no one can really tell you, and others of you, no one can tell you anything type of thing, to really kind of tamper you down for a little bit so that everybody else cannot want to run out of New Jerusalem because, they got to deal with this. So, and then those issues, of course, will be addressed in truthfulness, you know, and having to accept the truth because I think a lot of people have to accept something that they so long denied, you know, on all sides of the fence. So, but rest for however many years. It's going to be longer than 30 days. It's going to be longer than 30 days, people. This has been a 500-year curse that we've been under, and so it's going to be a little bit, but that's okay. That's what we need, and it's going to be glorious. And there's just so much for us to see, to travel and whatnot. And finally, I want to say one of the things that I've also seen getting up early, early in the morning is how restful white people were in the world. I seen them walking all the bike trails. I seen them at the river early in the morning on the weekday, by the way. I see them in the store shopping. I have seen them in the grocery stores. These places weren't full. They weren't packed. You could, shop easily. All the new stuff was stocked for them. Um, there were little to no boxes in the aisles. Do you know what I mean? It's literally during the work week, Monday through Friday, while you're at work, these people are out shopping, enjoying the parks, enjoying, their life. Because far too many of them could set their schedules to what they wanted to set them to. And this was an eye opener to me. How much of the peace they were receiving out in the world during the 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock or maybe 4 o'clock hour of the day. Traffic was light, at certain times, during the midday, during the mid morning. Yeah, so, and they're out there. They're out there, jogging. They have their little picnics, their courtship, sipping coffee, playing golf. So, a lot of things that they were able to enjoy because we were at work slaving away. Anyway, that's all I want to say. Thank you.